What if the very thing that's drowning your finances, your debt, could secretly become the most powerful weapon for building your wealth? Imagine standing at the edge of a financial cliff, weighed down by debt, feeling the familiar pangs of anxiety, guilt, and overwhelm. For most people, this is where the story stalls, a cycle of minimum payments, mounting interest, and the hope that someday, somehow, it will all go away. But what if everything you've been taught about debt, about struggle, sacrifice, and slow progress was only half the story? What if, instead of being a burden, your debt could become a catalyst, a leverage point, a springboard for building wealth faster than you ever thought possible? In today's world, traditional financial advice often feels like a relic from another era. The old playbook says, cut spending, pay more than the minimum, maybe pick up a side hustle, and wait, sometimes for years, until you're finally debt-free. But as technology and financial innovation accelerate, a new breed of thinkers is challenging these conventions. These individuals aren't content with just escaping debt. They're using modern, under-the-radar strategies to flip their financial burdens into income-generating assets, fundamentally changing not just their bank accounts, but their mindset and identity. Let's break down how this works. Imagine you owe $20,000 in credit card debt. The traditional approach might tell you to grit your teeth, budget ruthlessly, and throw every spare dollar at that balance. But what if, instead, you created a timeline-based debt leverage strategy? Each payment isn't just a reduction in liability, it's an investment trigger. The act of paying down debt becomes a deliberate opportunity to reallocate your resources, to harness psychological momentum, and to put your money to work for you. This isn't about taking out more loans or falling for risky get-rich-quick schemes. It's about harnessing three key principles: financial psychology, time-based payoff structuring, and low-risk micro-investments. These principles work together to help you generate cash flow even while you're still repaying what you owe. Start with financial psychology. Most people approach debt with a sense of shame or defeat, but the most successful debt flippers treat it like a game, a challenge to be solved creatively. They recognize that every payment, no matter how small, is a step toward greater control and confidence. They set milestones, celebrate progress, and use each victory to fuel the next. Next, consider time-based payoff structuring. Instead of making haphazard payments, you create a detailed timeline, mapping out exactly how and when you'll attack each balance. This isn't just about organization, it's about maximizing the psychological impact of your progress. By front-loading payments to the highest interest debts or negotiating one-time settlements, you accelerate your journey and free up cash flow that would have been lost to interest. That freed-up cash is where the magic happens. Enter low-risk micro-investments. Instead of letting your savings sit idle, you use the money saved from reduced interest payments to fund small, strategic investments. Some people use AI-powered savings tools that round up purchases and invest the spare change. Others put money into dividend yield exchange-traded funds, ETFs, which generate passive income even as you continue to pay down other debts. This is called opportunity stacking, layering multiple small wins until they create a powerful snowball effect. But it doesn't stop there. Some savvy earners apply the debt-to-skill transfer model, selling off high-cost liabilities like a second car or unused electronics, and using the proceeds to learn a new, marketable skill. Take the story of one individual who sold his game console for a few $100s, purchased a $40 online copywriting course, and within weeks began earning $300 a month from freelance gigs. Multiply that story by 10, 100, 1,000, and you begin to see the exponential impact of this approach. What makes these tactics so effective isn't just the financial results, it's the psychological transformation. Instead of seeing themselves as victims or failures, debt flippers become strategists, architects of their own financial destiny. They shift from a guilt loop, constantly reliving past mistakes, to a goal loop, where every action is aligned with a larger vision of freedom and growth. This method isn't taught in mainstream personal finance because it challenges the very foundations upon which banks and lenders profit. Traditional institutions want you trapped in the cycle, paying interest for as long as possible. But once you realize that your debt is more than just a number, it's a form of energy, a resource that can be redirected, you begin to see financial freedom not as a distant dream, but as something you can build, step by step, starting today. Reframing debt in this way is more than a financial tactic. It's an act of reclaiming control. The most powerful recoveries aren't slow and silent, they're strategic, fast, and yes, sometimes quietly explosive. While most people wait years, even decades, to become debt-free, those who think differently start building wealth from the very first payment. They don't just escape the system, they redesign it. Consider the ripple effects. When you break free from the traditional debt narrative, you inspire others to do the same. You create a community of innovators, thinkers, and builders who see obstacles not as roadblocks, but as opportunities to learn, grow, and thrive. Financial abundance becomes less about deprivation and more about creativity, resourcefulness, and courage. So, if you're standing at the edge of that financial cliff, know this: the tools for transformation are already in your hands. You don't need to wait for permission, or a magic windfall, or the perfect moment. You can start right now by flipping your next payment into a purposeful action, by stacking opportunities, investing in yourself, and rewriting the story you tell about your money. This is the essence of financial abilities. It's not just about escaping debt. It's about using every challenge as a launch pad toward a richer, more empowered life. The choice is yours. Stay stuck in the old patterns, or step boldly into the new. The future belongs to those who innovate, who leverage not just their resources, but their mindset. Welcome to a new era of financial strategy, where debt isn't the end, but the beginning of something extraordinary.